Good morning. So I totally forgot to take this weekend. So I'm standing in the stairwell here at Launch Academy. I'm gonna hope that I don't get locked out and have to walk down 5 flights and then back up. So let's see. Remember how I said that Rails week was really brutal? Then we did JavaScript week, and that made Rails week look really easy. Partially that was exacerbated by the fact that we were doing it in 4 days because of the day off for Easter. But we also, there were 1 or 2 mix-ups with lessons, so we got a lesson for that long weekend that was marked as optional, but it wasn't optional. So we had to try and kind of jam that in during the week. So that meant that last week we started from 0. In about 7 days, we started with JavaScript at 0. So it's a very different syntax than everything we've been doing, and a lot less helper methods. And we did that and went to learning jQuery, which is a big library that lets you do a lot of stuff without as much work in JavaScript. And then from there, we went to Ajax, which is a way that you can essentially hijack the functionality of web pages in the browser. And as a note, like, JavaScript is amazing. I laughed so hard because the first exercise we did over the weekend before we started was to just take a simple line of text and set up JavaScript that would change it every time you clicked on the text. It would just change the message to a timestamp of the current time and date. And I just laughed and laughed and laughed because it was like I had broken the universe. Something about how, and one of my friends, when I mentioned this online, he was like, you realize you're just changing it on the browser. And I was like, yeah, I know, it doesn't matter. Because somewhere in my brain, like, browsers all those actions are mediated by something else somewhere else. It's like a TV, right? Like, it's like playing a console game. Like, you don't get to change that. You get to interact with it, but you don't get to change the rules on it. You only get to act in prescribed ways. And I was just subverting the whole business. So that was kind of amazing. And by the end of the week, we could actually, if you clicked on a link on a web page, you could take that data, not send it to the server, do something else completely, and then just get the user going again. It was amazing. So it was also incredibly brutal. I keep using that word, but the last 2 weeks were rough. We all ended up, doing. We ended up, like, everybody was working way overtime. I had to, jettison a bunch of family obligations, and thank goodness for my wife, who's amazing, because she picked up the slack for me and, just tried to keep up. And we did. We actually, the whole cohort, we are the first cohort at Launch Academy where every single person passed the JavaScript week test, which is awesome and incredibly unlikely. I mean, we really pulled it out. So yeah. So now I'm very excited. It's Monday morning, and we are going into the kind of second phase of our time at Launch Academy. We are going to break up into teams this morning, and then we're going to start working for this week and next week. We will be making website from the ground up, pretty much, although using Rails. And we're going to take that, and that'll be part of our portfolio. We'll have it on GitHub after we're all done. And this is our chance to kind of spread our wings and really build something that isn't completely, like a relatively small exercise, or even just a string of exercises building on each other. Like, it's, okay, here's the whole thing. And they're going to project manage it pretty much for us, which, as a project manager, I was curious about. So it'll be bite-sized chunks in terms of our deliverables over the next 2 weeks, and there'll be a lot of deadlines that they know are achievable, theoretically, by us. So we'll see. Anyway, have a good week.